I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item will be adoption of the agenda.
Move.
Second. On adoption, and all those in favor? Motion is carried. No delegations this evening. We do have minutes for approval of the council meeting of November 20th.
Move.
Second.
On approval then, all those in favor? Motion is carried. And for receipt, we have the committee of the whole meeting minutes of the 27th of November.
Move. Second.
On receipt then, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Two recommendations coming out of that committee. First, that the town accept the proposed working agreement with Fair Tax Recovery Consultants and authorize Fair Tax to perform a commodity tax review for the town of Comox.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. Favorite property, the recommendation is that the Mac Lane Conservation Committee be granted additional time through 2014 to conduct a full market analysis of conservation tourism in the Comox Valley, constitute the Mac Lang Society, and pursue alternate sources of funding through BC Heritage.
Second.
On that, any discussion? All those in favor? Motion is carried. No committee reports for receipt, page 13, the management report.
Move receipt.
Second.
On receipt then, all those in favor? Motion is carried. Any comments, concerns, questions? Yes, Councillor Bryce?
Do we know anything more about the organic waste collection service?
Yes, I think either Councillor Fletcher or Tom Grant can tell you about that.
At the last solid waste management meeting, there was a motion that the pilot project with Comox and Cumberland would be continued until such time as a regional facility is attained.
And so there's no, I saw that in the minutes, so there's no idea of when that will be. And by regional, does it mean the whole of the Comox Valley or Courtney?
That's the conversation at this time.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I believe they're in negotiations with the city of Campbell River, so I think it will be more a region-wide compost facility.
Okay. And
I
then
don't know why they're in, where that came up.
The Campbell River proposal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they brought it forward as a use for the mill site.
Right.
It's yet to be confirmed.
We already have a site.
Yet to be fully composted.
Yeah, the digesting.
Yes. All right, anything further?
That's great.
All right, we'll move on. Special reports, there are a number of them this evening. First of all, at page 15, we have a Horizon report, and that's just there on the agenda with the CAO's report on that purchase of 1988 Wilford Avenue. Anything you wish to add at this time, CAO?
No, not at the moment.
And just the source of funds for that acquisition.
That was through our Greenway acquisition or park acquisition fund, correct, Don? Did we use that?
If we're to take it out of there, we need to do so by bylaw because it's in a capital reserve.
Okay, we haven't used that fund yet because we haven't completed the park establishment
Right.
and the other two lots yet.
What we're thinking is that the net cost
Right.
after resale is what we would take out of the parks reserve.
Yes.
Okay. And more to follow, I see, according to your reporting.
Yes, we're currently working through the environmental process with the environmental consultants on the parkland and its size and shape that we require.
Councillor Fletcher.
And in the very, very best case scenario, there may be no net cost if we were able to sell back the existing house in another lot?
Correct. That's we're hoping that that'll be the end result for the community, that we can end up creating the park along the stream. We can resell the parcel that has the existing house on it, and we have the ability to also create a smaller lot for a new single-family home in town.
All right, great. More to follow on that. Thank you. All right, page 17 then, the year in review. Just bear with me, I'll just summarize what we accomplished as staff and council in the last year. A few highlights. It was a very busy year in Parks and Rec. We had the pleasure of receiving the award for the best fitness studio for our Comox Rec Center, and it continues to show great numbers in terms of users and events. We also completed 4 new tennis courts, refurbished ones at Anderton Park with financial assistance from the provincial government and also the tennis club. The Parks Department completed the Cottonwood Greenway, which has already been well used as an important greenway. And as mentioned here tonight, we've acquired a property at 1988 Bayford Avenue for use as an important greenway link from Comox Avenue to Beaufort. And we also successfully concluded a tripartite agreement which will result in the school district's dedication to the town of the environmentally sensitive lands on the east, south, and west sides of the old Brooklyn Elementary site, including the Brooklyn Creek Channel itself, and formalized public access to the soccer field when not in use by that new Northgate School. In terms of downtown vitalization, we've continued to support efforts in that regard, recently directing staff to work with the Lorne Hotel project on a pilot project basis to have an incentive program which may be used elsewhere in our downtown core to stimulate multifamily residential construction as part of the OCP implementation. Town staff are continuing to work with the DIA as well as the Economic Development Society on marketing and promoting the downtown core to potential residents and investors, as well as landowners and developers as an attractive place to live, work, play, and invest. We also will be resubmitting our funding application to the Island Coastal Economic Trust for the enhanced community activity space at the Marina Park Foreshore, and considering an application for rezoning of the waterfront hotel project into a combined hotel suite facility early in the new year, all things going well. So that these private and public sector projects will result in some tangible improvements for both residents and visitors to our waterfront, helping to link the downtown and waterfront areas closely with the rest of our community. In the planning processes on OCP implementation, our timelines for issuing building permits, subdivisions, rezonings, and development approvals have been shortened as per the guidelines we established a year or so ago. We have, of course, implemented our secondary suite allowances by way of building permit and coach houses by way of rezoning throughout most single-family residential zones. And as the real estate market forces continue to ebb and flow, we will continue to implement our various recommendations coming out of our OCP and our transportation study. In the fall, we received approval from the provincial government on a joint application for a sponsor ground grant for parcels in the Northeast Woods, otherwise known as District Lot 194, to preserve the green space dedication for the town, and we'll continue to work with Comox First Nation on development of other parcels in that area as treaty settlements discussions proceed. And of course, in that area as well, we're working with landowners and developers and our consultants on a stormwater management plan, which could result in upwards of 100 lots being subdivided for development and construction of single-family homes. And under infrastructure renewal and maintenance, several major road paving projects were completed this past year, including the final phase of the 3-year Guthrie Road-Anderton intersection work in collaboration with the BC Hydro, and then of course the Military Road Bike Lane funding came from that, from the 19 new Comox. Next year, a major project will be the construction of the new Parks and Public Works buildings, estimated to cost around $5 million, of course, subject to a successful tender in early new year. So the future remains in a state of flux, of course, with economic forces being what they are. We are in the last year of our mandate. There will be an election in November. So as always, the constant will always be dealing with change. However, with sound finances, low debt, and rate of inflation tax increases, our town is well positioned to carry out the necessary works and capital and infrastructure as we enhance our services moving forward. And of course, we are all still got lots of work to do to make it the best place to live, work, play, and invest. So with that, at the next page, 21 and 22, I would ask for council motion to approve the committee appointments.
Second.
Discussion on those, and those relate to everything other than the regional district, of course. So, all those in favor? Motion is carried. We also need to have a resolution to appoint Myers Norris Kinney LLP as the auditors for 2014.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion is carried. And the signing authority for 2014 to myself as mayor, councilors Ken Grant and Maureen Swift, as well as staff members Richard Cannigan, Donald DeQuest, and Shelley Westwood.
Unless anyone else wants to go do it.
I think it's just Ken. That's
Nowhere near as much fun as you think.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion is carried. The regular schedule for 2014 of council and committee of the whole meetings has been published here, and we need a motion to approve that.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion is carried. And at this point in time, the appointments to the Comox Valley Regional District Board can be reaffirmed or changed as the case may be. Currently, we have Councillors Fletcher and Tom Grant as primary representatives, and Councillors Barbara Price and Ken Grant as alternates. As well, we have for the Sewer Commission, additionally, Councillor Swift.
Move those as they are.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion's carried.
Thank you.
All right. And of course, it'll be a busy year there too. The Regional District Board meeting minutes of November 7th, as well as the Hospital Board meeting minutes. And by the way, those November 7th minutes I mentioned are for the Strathcona Waste Management. So both of those sets of minutes for approval.
Second.
Should say receipt, but on receipt then. All those in favor? Motion's carried. Brings us to bylaws, utility rate bylaws, and the fire prevention campground and the intermunicipal business license bylaws. So first, bylaw 1759 is before us for adoption.
Move adoption?
Second.
On adoption, Councilor Grant.
Oh,
sorry.
I'm voting in favor.
Okay. All those in favor? Motion's carried.
What, do you want to raise them or something?
And bylaw 1760, the sewer use rate bylaw for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion's carried. And bylaw 1761, the refuse collection bylaw amendment.
Move.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion's carried. And bylaw 1763, the fire prevention amendments bylaw.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Can I just have a
Motion's carried. Yes,
quick moment just to, I was just looking at our garbage, our refuse collection,
Oh, sorry,
and our
yeah.
sewer. And, you know, if you work off the average house price, those rate increases are equal to a 3% tax increase. Now, I realize that we don't control all of these things, and all of the things that we end up collecting the tax for are not our baby, but I think it's something we have to be really wary of as we go through our budget.
Oh, absolutely.
People are getting, you know, they're getting smacked pretty hard with ferry increases, hydro increases, increase after increase, and, you know, if we're going to hit them with a 3% increase on those alone, I think we're going to have our work cut out for us in our next budget to really keep our tax increase down to make it palatable for the public, because this seems to be the year where everybody's deciding this is the year. So I think
that's early in the provincial government's mandate.
yeah,
Late in ours.
there's still time. Yeah, but you know, the point is, when we're going through our budget processes and our strategic plan, I think we have to be really aware that, you know, we're already hitting them pretty hard here. So
As you know, in the last meeting of the committee of the whole, we didn't add anything, thankfully, to the strategic plan. I think that was clear. And then from our previous discussions about these utility rate bylaws, I know the CAO has indicated that it's a whole the line kind of budget process. So that'll ensue in January, and we'll look at those things. Garbage, as you know, is increasing largely because of tipping fee increases at the regional district, not just one, but two in the next year. So that's a bit of a surprise to us. And the sewer increase is related to, how much millions? 70 million? Yeah, it just rolls off the tongue.
yeah,
70 million worth of capital upgrades, capacity issues, and also the moving of some lines off the beach. So
yeah.
those costs are coming, and it's not perhaps unexpected that these are issues being discussed in other parts of Vancouver and down in Victoria as of yesterday. We were discussing these kind of issues.
But as we know, when the tax bill comes,
Yes.
it's all us that did it, right? People don't much care how. It's just it went up.
So we have a responsibility
just
for
have
that,
to be
and
cognizant.
to explain it too.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tom.
But, you know, it's just unfortunate, you know, especially when we're talking about sewer and water and refuge collection, that there wasn't some steady increases over the past few years. You know, because these large capital projects, you know, I think everybody's known that they were coming down. It's just that by the time you get the consultants' reports and the budgets and everything else, then they're all just all sort of hitting us at the same time with all three functions: sewer, water, and garbage. And I can tell you Councillor Fletcher and I, when we go to these meetings, we agonize about, these increases, but there's nothing you can do. Water, all the capital improvements we have to do to our water system are mandated by the 4321 from VHA. We've got new regulations with the closure of dump sites and that, which are just huge. We've got 2 increases coming in the tipping fees over the next year. They're nowhere near enough. They're not even close to covering our costs on this. So I'm giving a fair warning that there's going to be large increases coming down the pike over the next few years on all of these things. But as Councillor Ken Grant said, I think if you look at how we fare compared to other municipalities, our tipping rates are very low at our refuge collections. Our water rates are low, and our sewer. Oh my God, we have a sewer system. Victoria doesn't. So, I'm not making excuses. I'm just pointing out, that it's just too bad these things couldn't have happened to level it out over a number of years. But
on the good news side of it, at least there was some effort to do that in the hospital function over the last number of years. So there is a significant down payment for that one.
Yeah, and we've got lots of money in the water reserves too to cover a lot of this, but sewer, there's nothing left in it. So.
Yeah, it's a challenge faced by many communities across Canada. Fortunately, our state of our own infrastructure is getting better all the time. So, and that's because this council and previous councils have put more money into the roads and sidewalks and so on. So we'll just have to keep plugging away at it, and we'll have to roll up our sleeves, keep those pencils sharp in the new year. All right, I think we have one more bylaw to adopt, and that is the inter-community business licensing bylaw.
Move adoption.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion's carried. So that might keep costs down for some businesses. It's a good thing.
That's overlapping.
All right, no other business correspondence, reports from members of council. I'll start. I participated in the Courtenay Christmas Parade, and that was back on the 24th. Attended a meeting with our MLA and Minister McRae, as well as Minister of Transportation, I think, Infrastructure, Todd Stone, regarding the North Connector project. Participated in a pickleball challenge game with our Director of Recreation, and we got schooled pretty bad by a couple of guys named Dave. But they showed us how to play that very challenging game, but also a very user-friendly game in that people of all ages are playing it in great numbers now. So that was part of the Sports Day activities up at the Rec Center. Participated in the reading of the Dickens Christmas Carol put on by the Community Justice Center, and also attended the Walk of Achievement ceremony for Brian House, and the Fire Department annual banquet was Saturday night, well attended, and long service awards were given out to a number of members who've been there for quite a few years, so that was nice to participate in that. And then last night I attended for at least the first half hour of the Economic Development Society's 25th anniversary. So that's my report. We'll go with Councillor Ken next.
Sure. I attended an economic development meeting yesterday, as well as the 25-year anniversary. I also attended very late the firemen's party. They were just shutting down. The band was on its last song when I finally arrived. That was the night of Christmas parties that wouldn't end, because I was also at the hospice one and at a business one and another as well that night. So I was just sort of bouncing around. I also attended the BIA annual general meeting, where we have 17 board members, which is great because it's lots of enthusiasm in the room, and lots of people looking at some of the good work that's been done over the year, and our coordinator Holly's done a great job of that. Unfortunately, we're only allowed to have 12, so we have to go back, but that's a good problem to have, so we can work with that. I also met with Minister Rusted and the Sailor Seafoods regarding dewey-duck figures on our water bill here, so that's what I've been doing.
All right. Councillor Fletcher?
Thank you. Since we last met, I attended the Vancouver Island Regional Library meeting on behalf of Councillor McKinnon. Speaking of raises, costs coming, there's another one that we will be incurring for a very good cause as well. I also attended on the 26th the Regional District Sports Commission meeting and board meeting. Last week, the committee of whole and in camera. On the weekend, I attended the Philbert Heritage Lodge and Park Christmas Fair on the grounds, all decorated up and lit up. Check it out. It's kind of a magical little place right now. Also attended the Comox Firefighters Annual Christmas Banquet last weekend. And yesterday attended the CVED's 25th celebration. And today attended a CVED's review phone conversation with one of the consultants.
All right. Councillor Swift?
Okay, once again, I've been out of the country, so I haven't been doing much in the community, but I did attend the Philbert board meeting last week, and the Philbert volunteer coffee this morning. And as a side note, I've been very busy doing the hospice annual gala auction, and for those of you who probably have already seen it in the newspaper, we're delighted as we now have operational funding for 4 beds going ahead. So it's been a long fight, but here we are.
Councillor Price?
Yes, so before going away, I did attend the Peter Ladner presentation on farming and food and the AVICC executive meeting. I chaired the co-management committee of the Comox Hazo Wild Management Area, and as some people might have noticed, the circular route is now all marked, so there's no need to be lost in there. Go around circles as long as you can note your exit.
You are at your own fault now.
That's right, yes. And there will be some work, trail work happening. There is a little bit of money in the provincial budget, and Al thought he could find something too, so there'll be some board walking down where the bridges have gone in, and we'll be looking over the winter for the wettest spots that need to be drained and filled. So an ongoing partnership with the province, the town and the community, and Al Fraser is wonderful, really works very well. I attended the Social Planning Council meeting, and the Quality of Life report is nearing completion. I was at the firemen's Christmas dinner, and it was a good meal. You missed a very good meal. And the firemen actually were there. No one got called out, which was
A first.
a first. Yes. And I attended the CVED's 25th anniversary celebration yesterday, and which was great, seeing a lot of old faces from way back. And I noticed I had been 9 years on the Economic Development Commission in the past. That was a very good event. Thank you.
Councillor Kett?
Good, yes, I was very fortunate to go to Quebec City with some Comox French immersion students who were playing basketball, and I want to publicly thank the Comox Valley Tourism Center for providing brochures and maps, which were well received by the host families. I think we're going to have a swell of visitors from Quebec City coming here during next summer, so appreciated that. Attended a lifelong learning community literacy workshop at the school board office last Friday with a number of nonprofits groups there. Attended the Comox Valley Economic Anniversary, 25th anniversary last night. It was very nice to see past presidents honored there, and that legacy of what they've contributed to that organization was, they were very well spoken, and very nice honor for them to be honored that way. Attended the Philbert, some of the Christmas events down at the Philbert Center on the weekend. That was well attended, and great crowds there. And also attended the Social Planning Committee meeting with Councillor Price a couple of weeks ago now. And that's all from me. Thank you very much.
Hey, Councillor Tom.
Yeah, since we last time we met was our committee of the whole meeting, and on November 26th I attended a CBRD board meeting, as well as a rather lengthy sports commission meeting on the same day. I attended the Comox Valley Housing Task Force meeting last Friday. I attended the 25th anniversary of CVEDS, that most of you were at last night, and kind of a fun event. I think we were all invited to Jackie Green's house to honor the 40th anniversary of the Comox Valley Labor's Flyers winning the provincial championship. A lot of them have gone to seed, guys. Anyway, it was an interesting night, and it was great to honor these guys who worked so hard to represent the Comox Valley 40 years ago. So, and that's my report.
Great, thanks. All right, no light items. Any questions from the media at this time? And there's no members of the public here, so a motion to adjourn would be in order.
Move.
Second.
Those in favor? Meeting adjourned. And please note, December 18th meeting is canceled. We'll still have a committee poll next week.